What unsolved mystery would you like to be explained in your lifetime? Brandon Swanson. Car breaks down. On the phone with dad. Says something like, "Oh shit," while still taking the dad and supposedly walking to the town dad was waiting for him is here. That's it, never heard from ever again. Relatively recently too. Just kind of makes someone wonder. I'd love it if someone found Forrest Fenn's treasure. To explain. Forrest Fenn was a gentleman with some serious cash. He ended up having a cancer scare and being told he was terminal. So he buried some of his bonds, gold, etc. in a cache and wrote a poem with clues on how to find it. Just like old-timey pirates or what have you. He ended up surviving the cancer and doesn't really give any hints on the treasure. Except to say that he goes out like once every few years to make sure it's still buried in the same spot, and it always is. That's how he knows nobody has found it yet. The M Cave Mystery. I remember hearing about this one and it still bothers me to this day. Basically, some guy who was an avid hiker went back to visit a cave that he said was vibrating on his previous visit. He never came back from the trip and hasn't been seen since. Here's the link to a YouTube video he made talking about the cave not long before he went missing. What happened to my friend Daniel? He went missing during our freshman year of college. Over winter break, he was back home in California. He left his keys at home and walked away. He's never been seen since. I know he's probably dead, but a little part of me has always wondered if someone took him, or if something happened and he's alive. And I can't give up that hope until I know he's not alive. Because what if he is and no one believes anymore? Are you really alive if no one believes you are? The escape from Alcatraz. I think they made it. Supposedly flowers were sent to their mother every Mother's Day after they escaped. Two tall women were seen at their mom's funeral and other hints suggest they are alive. I need to know what actually happened. As kid, I was on some giant paid playground made out of cubes with various activities connected together in 3D. I panicked because I got in some sort of loop with literally no way out. No matter what way I picked, I kept coming back to same spot. Firefighters were called. Actually, I want to know what the hell happened. The cure for Alzheimer's, preferably before I turn 40. Good explanation for consciousness would be awesome. Edit. A lot of people are replying with very philosophical approaches to consciousness. So I'd just like to clarify that I mean a completely scientific explanation for the fact that we are self-aware. The JonBenet Ramsey murder. I have a classmate from high school who has an older sister that has been missing for 10 or 11 years now. I would like for this case to be solved so her family has some closure. Very random, but here goes. I lived in China when I was 10. I lost my favorite water bottle at the local pool one day. I moved to Australia when I was 11. So a year later, I ended up finding that water bottle under a bench in our schoolyard. I know because it has a sticker with my name on it. I don't know if I imagined the whole thing, or my water bottle teleported its way to another country. Edit. Sound cheesy, but this is the first time that my comment blew up. Unfortunately, I don't know if this has been a false memory or not, but it's interesting nonetheless. Are we alone in the universe? I 100% believe in intelligent life. Would be nice to see it confirmed. Doesn't even have to be intelligent. Just proof of life. How sleep works. Edit. And more specifically, why we need it and eventually would die without it. Edit 2. Read Why We Sleep. Got it, haha. Dark matter. WTF, was it cancelled? It was so good. Just kidding. I wanna know WTF dark matter is. The murder of Jenny Lo Chong at San Francisco State University in 1977. She was found naked and stabbed to death in a locked reading room of the J. Paul Leonard Library that only school staff and faculty had access to. Many speculate that it was the Zodiac Killer because of the similar circumstances around the murder, but to this day has not been solved. I'm currently a cinema student at SFSU doing a video project about the whole thing, and I'd love to see if anything can be uncovered using new DNA tools. D.B. Cooper or Jack the Ripper, IDK if they have been. Malaysia airline flight missing. The assassinations of JFK and RFK. All the who, what, where, when, why and how re Epstein's murder and who all the pedos are. When I was little I wandered off from my parents at a storytelling festival. When I turned back up I had some type of mild wound on my hand, and all I would say about it was, "Baby cow bit me down there," while pointing toward the nearby river. To this day we have no idea what bit me. We lived in Florida at the time, so it could have been pretty much anything. Except for a cow, since there were no farms nearby. What truly happens after death? What happens to our consciousness? Do we experience nothingness, just as we did before we were born? Or do we actually go to some other place? The purpose of the Night King. Where were humans before ancient Sumer, Mesopotamia? Or, what happened to the people of Roanoke Island? Or, for God's sake, what happened to Amelia Earhart? The taste of fresh T-Rex meat. We even found some flesh in a thigh bone. So all we need is a genetic engineer to go insane and we'll find out how it tastes. Edit. On second thought, it was definitely bone marrow, so it might not count as flesh. It was soft tissue, though, so I'm still counting it. Who really was the ass crack bandit? Delphi murders. I would like the mystery of the Voynich manuscript to be solved. For those uninitiated, it is a manuscript dated to early 15th century, written in an unknown language and containing illustrations of alien plants. It also shows no connection to any other texts or languages, but the text and drawings are so detailed that people doubt it was the work of some random guy. Obviously, some people think it was done by aliens, but it's really interesting. The disappearance of Brian Schaefer. Guy goes into a bar. He doesn't come out. I'd like to know what lies beyond a black hole. After entering the event horizon, what lies in there? Nobody knows. I'd like to know. The Taos Humasure. What the heck is that thing? What the heck is the Black Knight satellite, and why is its orbit so weird? What is written on the Voynich manuscript, and is it legit or just a trick? What does the tomb of the first emperor of China look like inside? Where is Cleopatra buried? What happened to the Orang Medan? The history of the currently underwater ruin off the coast of Florida. I could go on. The Max Headroom broadcast signal intrusion of November 22, 1987. What happened to Asha Degree? Why do meteors always land in craters? What the deal was with all those people dressing up as clowns a couple of years ago? Who Jack the Ripper was? Who the Zodiac Killer is? Because theoretically, they could still be alive. And what happened to John Benet Ramsey? What happened to William Tiro? D.B. Cooper. I worked with a woman who was absolutely certain, and not kidding at all, that a family member of hers was D.B. Cooper, and I really want to know if she way right. My personal mystery. My DNA shows that my 6th great-grandparent is from Senegal or Gambia. I've got a pretty diverse genetic makeup. European and Native American. But this one vexes me. This person was likely born between 1710 and 1800, which perhaps links my distant heritage to an African slave. I'd love to know more, but I have no idea how to track that info. The existence of aliens. I want some rock-solid proof that they're real, not some conspiracy theorists telling me they exist. Where TF do all of those missing socks go? Where is Lars Middink? What happened to him? His mother deserves to know. The Fermi paradox. Given that the universe is so old and massive, and life's proclivity to adapt and spread, why do we not see unambiguous evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence? Are we actually first in our surrounding area? If so, why didn't a technological civilization develop a billion years ago? There's a kind of hole right next to Barton Creek Pool in Austin, Texas. On the other side of the Damisure, it's connected to the creek that leads to the lake. One day, I nearly drowned because right in front of me was a huge fish the size of me that looked like a barracuda with huge teeth. The sight of it scared me so much I inhaled water. I want to know, WTF was that, and why did no one else see it, and why hasn't the news reported barracudas or tigerfish or whatever is our lakes? UFOs. Definitive proof of what people are seeing or aren't seeing. Why can we put a man on the moon but we can't make a deodorant that lasts past noon? And #X200B. Edit. I was quoting the show Duckman. I appreciate but do not need all these PMs about medicated deodorant. I just want to know who killed Teresa Halbach. Pretty much any missing persons case, just to the families and loved ones, can have some closure and acceptance. This is canon for BuzzFeed Unsolved at this point. A lot of people are talking about space and time. Obviously, would love to know more as well. But there are so many mysteries still surrounding our oceans and the deepest points. Life that is almost considered alien. I want that to be uncovered, but I guess the mystery is part of how interesting it is. I want to know how the universe works and if we are all living inside of a simulation. What in the hell has been going on with Britney Spears from the moment she began dating Justin Timberlake until now? Where do guitar picks go when you drop them? What happened at Dilitlov Pass? Malaysian Flight 370. I'm really curious where that plane ended up. Where the fuck Amelia Earhart is. There's new evidence that she may have been in contact through a radio for up to 2 weeks after she crashed. Whoever was on the other end didn't think it was credible. They basically left her there to die. The Zodiac Killer. I watch a lot of BuzzFeed Unsolved, and I'd love to see that be solved by them in my lifetime. Two main ones. Roanoke Colony and what the fuck happened. Who, what the fuck are sea peoples, and why did a whole bunch of major badass civilizations just collapse because some dudes walked out of the sea? I know they're probably super improbable by this point, but maybe there's a chance.